Hey everyone, Joseph Onesta, type 2 mentor here. I'm not a doctor. I don't offer medical advice. Even if I were a doctor, I couldn't give you medical advice because you're not my patient. So please just take from this video what you're going to get. I want to talk to you about a thing that seems to be trending now, and it's gaslighting from the medical profession. And what I think some of the people who are talking about this are really talking about is how perhaps sometimes people discount people in the medical profession might discount our experience simply because they don't understand it or it's not like they don't think it's real. I could probably do, I don't know, a lot of videos on this just because in the world of type 2 diabetes, it is the standard advice is that it is chronic and progressive. Chronic means you're going to have it until you die. Progressive means it's going to get worse before you die. And probably if you put the two of those together, you're going to die from this. Did I scare you? I think that's why they say that. No, it's true. I mean, that's the way they see it. They don't understand, and I hate to say it, even though the science is there, they don't understand that type 2 diabetes can actually be reversed, although it's changing. And so, the word that they use, these influencers and these people who are talking about this, and they're using a very evocative word, gaslighting, as if somehow your doctor is intentionally trying to manipulate you to take more medications or something like that. I imagine there must be some doctor out there actually doing that, but it's not my experience. And, I don't think that doctors are. I think they think that this is what you're supposed to do. And so, and they don't know. I mean, obviously, they can't keep up with everything, especially a general practitioner. But I've got stories to tell you about my clients. And one of them is a story about an endocrinologist that's wow, just wow. All right. That comes later. Oh, cliffhanger. Keep to subscribe. Like and subscribe. You'll find out. All right. Anyway, so a little bit my own experience first up, right? I'm the one that, that I know that I know that type 2 diabetes is not chronic and it doesn't have to be progressive because I don't have it anymore. I turned it around. I can't say cured because I don't know. I I don't know. But I don't my blood sugar levels are normal. I'm not taking any medications and I haven't taken them for more than 4 years. If you want to know. All right. And I basically eat what I want. I can't go back to the way I ate, but I basically eat what I want. So let's talk about this gaslighting idea, right? I when my doctor, I went to my doctor, the lab work wasn't in yet. The day or two later, he calls me up and he says, your A1C, it was near 10. It was like 9.8 or 9.9. I suppose I could look it up, but we've even changed insurance companies twice in that time. So I don't know if it's still there. It must be somewhere. So he wanted to put me on a third medication. A lot of people are now taking Ozempic and, he wanted to put me on a third one. In anticipation, I could hear it in his voice. I don't know. I don't remember him actually saying it, but I heard it. It said, oh, next is insulin. All right. I said, give me a list. I'll read about these medications. Now that I want to pick one, I told him that should give you a clue. First things first, I was already, even at that point, starting to take charge or take responsibility for my own wellness. The very fact that I wanted to, uh, the very fact that I wanted to learn shows something. If you're watching this, you're already starting. He said, if you read about them, you won't want to take any of them. And he was right. I read about them. He gave me the list. I read about them and I didn't want to take any of them. And I never called him back. I was despondent. I completely was despondent. I didn't know where to turn. All I knew was up until that time, I had tried a whole bunch of, take cinnamon pills, drink this green tea, all sorts of things that didn't seem to have any effect. And I wasn't going to fall for any of that, excuse me, that shit. If anybody's trying to gaslight you, it's the people who are selling you supplements. And superfoods and miracle cures from some island in the Pacific. No. All right. I started looking and I found some amazing doctors, licensed medical professionals who were on the cutting edge of metabolic science. I found them. And they were talking about, I looked up their research. PubMed.gov, a lot of it's available free. PubMed.gov. So I found it. I read about it. I tried it. I started biohacking. I didn't know it was called biohacking at the time. I was just experimenting to see what would happen in my body. And I will tell you that within weeks, I'm going to say 6, but I'm being generous with that amount of time. It was probably a bit less than that. I was off my meds completely. I had experienced low blood sugar twice. The sulfonylurea I was taking, I cut it in half the first time. The second time I stopped taking it. The other one was metformin. When I read about metformin, there are good things to say about metformin and bad things to say about metformin, but I was interested in seeing how my body would deal with not having metformin, and I did it. And I have no reason to go back. I'm not telling you to do that. I would never tell you about I don't know your medicals. Even if I knew, I couldn't tell you. That's the medical advice I'm not giving you. All right. So 4 months later, I'm back because I was seeing my doctor every 4 months, and I have this spreadsheet of blood tests. Because I tested my fingers, every finger, every day. I was nuts. I go in, I am so excited. My fasting blood glucose was like 93. Up until then, like it was huge. From the day I was diagnosed, it was no less than 125. I mean, that was the diagnosis, 125 or something like that, many years, 2004. And my A1C went from near 10 to 5.4. I was stoked. Oh my gosh, I went in. I was so excited. I was looking forward to seeing my doctor. He is going to be so proud of me. A little scared because I never called him back. He might yell at me, but I expected him to be proud of me. He came in, he's staring at his computer, and I start talking. I can't hold it in. I'm a good talker. Can you tell? All he would say to me was, the numbers don't lie. He might have said something about the medications. That's when I told him I stopped taking them 3 months before. He absolutely never moved his face from the computer screen. I had no idea how to interpret that. But in hindsight, I don't think he was gaslighting me. I don't think he was manipulating me, trying to control me. I think he was experiencing cognitive dissonance. Or at least he didn't believe that it would last. I don't know. I suppose I could like pay him for an appointment because he's not my doctor anymore and ask him, but he probably wouldn't remember and might not admit it, whatever it was. So here's the thing. I'm interested in your experiences with your doctors. One of the things that I have to do with my clients is coach them in how to talk to the doctor. Like it wasn't in me emotionally to say, listen, doc, I'm having a hard time interpreting your response to this. And it would really help me if I understood exactly what you were thinking right now. After all, it's my health. Was he pissed off that I didn't listen to his advice? I don't know. He's a human. He can't possibly keep up with everything. I mean, he can't. He's a GP. I've got a story even about an endocrinologist, though. Another video, like, subscribe if you want to know. I'm going to save that one. I'm going to milk it. Anyway, I'm interested in your experiences with your doctors. I would love to hear your doctors going, oh, how wonderful. What are you doing? That would be amazing. I have yet to see that, though, at least not with traditional doctors. MDs or ODs makes no difference. I thought it would make a difference, but it doesn't. All right. Joseph Onesta, type 2 mentor here. What are your experiences with your doctors? And there are so many things I would have liked to have said to my doctor, but I don't believe he was gaslighting me. I just think he was experiencing his cognitive dissonance and couldn't figure it out. Didn't know what to make of it. Was unprepared for that. All right. Joseph Onesta, type 2 mentor. You